This is a systematic slaughtering of beautiful women by a serial killer.
On the morning of August the 14th, 1993, Rick Pacaccio opened his door to let the dog out. Instead, he saw the lifeless body of his daughter lying on the doorstep.
When I saw it was her, I dropped a coffee cup.
The murder happened here in the middle of the night. Someone jumped out of the bushes and stabbed 18-year-old Tricia Pacaccio to death.
Tricia had gone out the previous night to celebrate a friend's birthday, but on the way back, right as she returned home, she was brutally stabbed to death. With few leads and no suspects, police failed to make headway and the case quickly grew cold. 8 years later, in 2001, a young woman named Ellerin was getting ready for a date. She made plans to go to a party with an up-and-coming actor named Ashton Kutcher.
He was starring on the hit sitcom That 70s Show.
However, when he arrived at her house to pick her up, she didn't answer his calls.
He rang the doorbell and nobody answered. He saw what he thought was spilled wine all over the place. Unfortunately, we later learned that that was her blood.
Ashley's roommate discovered her body the next morning. She had been stabbed to death in her home. Despite the high-profile nature of the case, law enforcement struggled to piece together the events leading to the attack. Then, in 2005, another heinous crime occurred. Maria Bruno, a 32-year-old mother of 4, was found murdered in her own bed.
And when I came inside, there was a pool of blood.
It appears from the evidence that he obtained a weapon there in the kitchen and that he then entered into her bedroom where she was asleep.
Just like in previous cases, she had also been repeatedly stabbed to death to the point of overkill. The specific modus operandi was starting to resemble the signature work of a serial killer. He was nicknamed the Hollywood Ripper because the attacks happened in the Los Angeles area, and also thanks to the involvement of a celebrity. But it wasn't until 2008, 15 years after the first murder, that a major breakthrough finally solved the cases. 26-year-old Michelle Murphy was asleep in her apartment when an intruder slipped through the window and attacked her with a knife. Miraculously, Michelle managed to kick him off, causing him to cut himself and flee.
She was stabbed multiple times in her chest and shoulder and right arm. And at some point there was a lull in the action, so to speak, and she was able to get her feet up and kick him off of her.
The DNA evidence left behind led the police to Michael Gargiulo. He was a failed actor who worked odd jobs such as club security and maintenance. Prosecutors say that before killing his victims, he would stalk them for sexual thrill.
And his hobby was plotting the perfect opportunity to attack women with a knife in and around their homes.
By 2019, after years of investigation and legal proceedings, Michael was convicted on all counts. His trial shed light on the gruesome details of his crimes.
We are not going to show many of the crime scenes that were displayed in court. They were so grisly, even veteran news crews turned away.
Michelle, the sole survivor, was a key witness.
How is it fair that one person's actions can destroy the lives of so many? And all I can do is think about the parents, Tricia and Ashley and Maria.
Ashton Kutcher also testified about the murder of his girlfriend Ashley.
Mr. Kutcher looked in the window and saw what he thought was spilled wine on the floor. We believe now the evidence will show that was actually blood, and Ashley had already been murdered.
Michael Gargiulo was sentenced to death and is awaiting execution. Prosecutors believe that, other than the 3 known victims, the Hollywood Ripper may be responsible for as many as 10 other murders.